Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to Hall Around Town Radio's Backstage Hall Pass, a showcase of homegrown talent, mixing independent music with personal interviews and a behind-the-scenes look at our music community. Backstage Hall Pass is your front row center seat to some great conversation with the area's most talented artists. Whether you like rock, blues, folk, country, or R&B, Backstage Hall Pass delivers you a daily dose of the stories behind the music. And now, here's the host of our show, Scott Hall.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a very special Wednesday afternoon, Hall Around Town Radio Backstage Pass. It is 5 o'clock, and we are live out on the patio here at Heather's Cafe, located in the historic district of downtown Springboro. I am the special guest host today. My name is Jerry Nimersheim. For those of you who don't know me, which is probably quite a few of you, I am the very lucky and fortunate guy to have the love and heart of one Miss Heather from here at Heather's Cafe. That is my quick introduction, because today's show is definitely not about me. It's about my good friend, your good friend, everybody's good friend. Welcome in, Mr. Scott Hall.
How you doing, Jerry?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Well, you know, the intro said, here's your host, Scott, and then you took it, and I'm glad, because I don't have to do that today.
I'm okay doing that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on your show, Jerry.
Thanks for being on my show today, Scott. I know
I'm going to make sure we're live while you're talking, all right?
I hope we are live. But we talked about this for a while now. It's been a couple months. I remember one night, on a Saturday night, we're sitting out here on the patio talking, and I mentioned to you everything you do for the community. I'm obviously not a venue owner. I'm not somebody in the band, which kind of sucks, but something I want to do to kind of get back to you, let you know how much I appreciate you. And speaking of appreciation, your birthday, yesterday, Facebook got blown up. So I woke up yesterday morning around 5:30, and I get a Facebook notification. It's your friend Scott Hall's birthday. Wish him happy birthday. So I go to Scott's timeline like I would anybody else, and I go to type in happy birthday. And I had to make an appointment because his timeline was overbooked.
You're killing me, man.
It was crazy. And then all day yesterday, the news feed, you know, it's Buckeye season, it's Bengal season. I'm looking to get on there and look at other stuff, and all I see is the notifications, the posts, the comments, the pictures, the tags. I will say this. I love you to death, but I was really close to unfriending you for the day just so I could have my Facebook back.
Yeah, it was wild. We're going to have to get the ladies to do something for us. Would you move those balloons? They keep going in front of the camera. Yeah, that's not a good day. Thank you. I want everybody to see Jerry today. All right?
Hello.
I do.
Hello out there.
So you had this idea to interview me, and now that doesn't happen very often. I haven't been interviewed since back in the day when I did other things. So that's kind of interesting.
I mean, again, it's my way of giving back. And I know, you know, not everybody, because a lot of people on here, they know you. They've known you for many, many years. Unfortunately, and the only unfortunate thing about it is you've only been a friend of mine for a little bit over 2 years. Hopefully there'll be many, many more years of friendship, but that's the only unfortunate part. And I don't know, besides talking to you, you know, where you came from, what you used to do, stuff like that. So I thought it'd be good to sit down and kind of talk about, you know, where you came from and what you've done and where you've been and all that good stuff.
Okay. Well, I've not seen your questions. This is an ambush interview, people. It is. And Glenn says on the YouTube channel, he's saying it's time to grill Scott. So
yes, it is.
I guess it is. It is. Marcy's with us too. Thank you, Marcy, for last night. What a great surprise that was, and a fantastic birthday. And now they're showing me some love down at Heather's. There's balloons on every table down here. This is insane.
That birthday bash last night out at Mr. Burroughs. I mean, Marcy always does it right. And I'll tell you what, it's just, again, it's the outpouring of the love. And you know, we talk about it, and everyone in this world has people who might be haters, but you look at the ones who love you, and they outnumber a lot of people. I mean, I saw 470 people posted to your timeline. That's crazy.
A few.
Yeah, a few.
Yeah, but that's just, I mean, those are people I've met along the way, man, for years.
I get it.
You know?
I have like 7 friends. Well, I did have 7. I lost one yesterday. You pissed me off. But with that being said.
Hi, Heather.
Hello, Miss Heather.
How are you?
Let's get this thing started. We're on a limited time basis, and I have a lot of questions. I want to cram a lot of stuff in.
All right.
So, Mr. Scott Hall, you are officially on the hot seat.
We are here. Let's do it.
You were born in Kentucky. Your parents, Bill and Lois. I believe your dad. Was your dad that got a job promotion?
He got a teaching job here in Kettering, Ohio.
Okay.
And we moved up here, and he got a teaching job. And my mom eventually worked in the Kettering school system as well as a teacher. Both of them retired teachers now. Still kicking. Dad's still kicking at 87 years old. And mom at 84, I think, if I'm right on that one.
So did they teach any classes you might have been in when you were in school?
He did not teach any classes because I didn't go to that school.
Okay.
I went to Bellbrook schools. Yeah, we lived in Bellbrook, and they commuted to Kettering, which was about 10 minutes away, actually, where he taught. And that was how they did things. And I went to a different school system. Now, my mom was a teacher in Bellbrook for a while, substituted and taught. So occasionally we'd cross paths.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your childhood like?
Well, I mean, when you grow up in a small town, this is a town that had one traffic light, Bellbrook, Ohio. Everyone knows everybody. I had the luxury of having a swim club that was down the street from where we lived. So I spent my summers there swimming and learning to swim. And then throughout the years, eventually working there and those kind of things. So it was a great upbringing. My parents took great care of my sister and I. And, we traveled in the summer because they were school teachers, got to see a lot of things, went to the beach a lot, went on a trip out west, like the Brady Bunch, basically.
Oh, yeah.
With the panel station wagon and the camper behind it. And it was a good upbringing. It was fun.
So I know as a child, we all have multiple awesome childhood memories, myself included. I know there's always that one great childhood memory that seems to stand out on top of everything else. You have that one big childhood memory you will never forget?
Oh, wow. That's a hard question. There were so many great memories. One is family. With our family in Kentucky, we would go visit my grandparents on Christmas. I can remember the fire engine coming around with Santa on it on Christmas Eve and handing out candy to the kids and spending the time there with our entire family. My dad had numerous brothers and sisters. And it was just a great environment. My grandma got in the kitchen on a Sunday and started at about 5 a.m. And by 4 p.m, there was a spread there like you wouldn't believe. So it was a really good time.
Good times. So you went to Bellbrook High School.
Yes, sir.
And I'm guessing probably before high school. When did you actually first get into music?
Well, I always loved music, always listened to music. I remember having a little radio, listen to FM radio, tuning into FM radio at home when it first kind of became the thing. And in high school, I gained a real interest in a couple things. And one being I wanted to be a DJ. I thought that would be really cool. So my parents and another friend of mine, Steve Sloan from Bellbrook, he went on to be a radio DJ all across the country. Our parents kind of fronted us the money to buy some equipment. And it was very primitive at the time. We had a little PA system, microphones, and, we played vinyl on turntables and a little Radio Shack mixer, which we mixed between the songs and things. And we got the bug and started doing high school, junior high dances. And just had somebody comment on my page yesterday about how I was their first DJ ever. And I thought that was really cool. But that's how I got the bug. And then got into, also the fire department, which is another whole story. But the music side of things, I always loved music and just love listening to music. I joke about going across the country with my parents in that station wagon. I could spell DIVORCE from Tammy Wynette.
Tammy Wynette, yes.
Before I could spell most things. So my mom and dad had the 8 tracks in the car. We listened to the Statler Brothers, just some fun stuff. And that's how I got into music, so to speak. And once I got the bug, being up in front of people and DJing it's like a big adrenaline shot.
I'm sure.
It is. It still is here,
So that disco party setup your friend Steve and yourself had, you also did that at the fire department for the firefighters and their wives, correct?
Yeah, I'd set up my stuff and we'd DJ for like fire department parties. Well, the first fire department I was on, the Sugar Creek Bellbrook Fire Department back in the day, was a very family oriented, had a lot of social events, things like that. And it was a volunteer outfit. Only full-time person was the fire chief. And so we did a lot together, and that was fun to play for them. And then Some of the guys got the bug for karaoke before it was karaoke, and they
yeah.
wanted to grab some microphones and sing and have some fun. So it was a good time, you know.
Speaking of fire department, you're in high school. I believe you became a cadet for the Sugar Creek Bellbrook Fire Department. Tell the listeners out there how that story actually happened.
Well, we were all in shop class one day, and there were like 13 of us, I believe was the number, that were in the shop class. It was metal shop. I remember that. And an announcement came over the PA from one of the secretaries in the office that said, anyone interested in becoming a cadet for the fire department, come down to the cafeteria and hear a little talk about it. So we asked our teacher. He said, yeah, sure, we're not doing much today. Going down there. So we all went down there. Out of that 13, I believe it's 9 or 10 of them went on to be career firefighters, which is amazing.
That is amazing.
I mean, and it changed our lives. It did. I mean, this guy his name was Daryl Myers. He's passed on since. Great friend of mine over the years. And Daryl talked about the fire department, and we were all hooked. Started training with them, and we supplemented their, help on fires and things like that on the outside work. We wouldn't go in a fire, but we do the outside work and fun stuff. So that was my start in the fire service, so to speak.
Which led to 35 years in the fire department.
Right.
That is a long time. And I know, I understand it. I don't really understand it. I've never been a firefighter, but when you get them calls, they're never good calls.
Well, no, you see people in their worst days at their worst moments, and you hope you make a difference. And that's what I tried to do for 35 years. And you also build camaraderie and friendship with people for life that you worked with. I went to work every third day in the fire department for 24 hours. You spend more time with those guys than you do some time with your family members.
Sure.
So it's a fraternity. It's also a brotherhood and a bond that it's hard to describe unless you've been in that line of work.
Sure. So leading into the fire department, the one question I definitely wanted to ask you, the day none of us will ever forget, September 11th, 2001. Where were you that morning?
Well, I was standing in my living room, painting my living room, and I got a phone call. Didn't even have the TV on. I was getting ready to sell my house. So you know how you do when you sell a house. You got to paint everything,
Sure.
Make it look good. And I got a phone call from one of the guys in the fire department who said, hey, are you watching the TV? No, you better turn on the TV. Like everybody else in America, I turned on the TV and was shocked to see what I saw. I also knew that the potential was there for a newly based rescue team out of Ohio, which is part of the federal program. There's 27 of them in the country, that we were going to get sent there. And that team was going to be deployed to 9/11. So that was going through my mind, along with I had to get to work because my city manager was calling me. He wanted to have meetings because, at that point, everybody thought America was under attack. What are we going to do?
Sure.
And it was under attack. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't in our area.
It was. So 35 years in the fire department, and you obviously spent time at Ground Zero for a couple of days, few days?
Right, a day. 1 day. Yeah, I was there for a day with my team. What we did is we went there. The team was there for 13 days. I went there with the team. I flew up on the governor's plane, actually, with the lieutenant governor, the state fire marshal, and the director of emergency management. And we went up. We took letters from each member's home family because they were struggling by this time. This was a difficult assignment for them. And we took letters from home, and the Grater's Ice Cream Company donated 130 pints of Grater's ice cream packed in dry ice that were loaded on the governor's plane that we took up there. We got to New York. They took us right into Ground Zero. We visited with our team members, obviously gave them the ice cream. There was 2 shifts going on, so we went to visit the other shift at the Javits Center in New York, which is a big convention center where they were housed. The night shift was there trying to get some sleep. It was difficult for them, and the last thing they probably wanted to see was us. They were just resting, but we did that. I got a chance to go up 34 floors in one of the adjacent towers and look down on the site, and I'll tell you, Jerry, I'll never forget it. It is, as long as I live, it'll be emblazoned into my mind, the sheer magnitude of that disaster. And it was like looking at downtown Dayton in total ruins. And it just, the things that our team was finding, and those guys, to me, each day, and I was a member of that team in a cheerleader capacity a lot because I did the media information, but the guys on that team are top notch. They're in Kentucky right now as we speak, helping the flood victims and looking to recover those who are lost. And they will continue to do this long after I'm gone. And it's a great program. and they should be very proud of what they do.
Absolutely. 35 years in this firefighting service. That's a long time. You finally get to retire. I believe you and Miss Liz, did you guys move to Fort Myers?
We did. We moved to Fort Myers Beach, Florida, after I retired from both places. I was in Bellbrook as the fire chief, along with the city of Huber Heights. And I retired in Huber Heights in January and Bellbrook in March of 2014. And we took off to Florida. We owned a property down there, a house on Fort Myers Beach for, I think we had it 3 or 4 years before I retired. And then we went down to live there, and living very modestly in this little beach shack, but you didn't need much more than that.
No.
It was a great experience. That was another experience in my life where I think was just one of the best things I've ever done, being around the water, the wildlife.
Nothing like it.
Yeah, so good. People go to the beach. They live to go 1 week a year to the beach. I lived basically on the beach for, we were there 3 or 4 years.
That would never get old.
Yeah, it was great.
So tell me about the Estero Bay Express Dolphin Tour.
Well, that's an interesting thing.
That sounds really cool.
Had a friend who worked at a marina, and he took me fishing a few times. He was a fishing captain, and realized my background with the DJ work and all that, and knew they were looking for a captain on this tour boat. The tour boat was a 40-passenger tour boat. So I kind of got the bug and went and took my captain's license, which was a very extensive program. I studied a lot. I think Mrs. Hall around town could have passed the test because she helped me study. But I studied. I got my regular, what's called a 6-pack license to carry 6 people, and then got my master captain so I could drive this boat and captain the boat of 40 passengers. We saw dolphin every day, 3 tours a day, and we did basically a 2-hour each ecological tour of Estero Bay and the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, that's living.
It was good, and I met people from all over the world. That was the cool thing. There's periods of time people go to Florida. German people come down, Japanese people come. You meet all those people. Sometimes we had a language barrier.
Yeah,
but people were very generous. They tipped us well. We worked on that boat. They loved what we did, and it was so much fun. It was a blast.
Now, was the name of that boat the Sea Shift?
That was my boat.
Oh, your boat. Okay.
Yeah, because in the fire department, we had A, B, and C shift.
Okay.
And mine was working the C shift, SEA.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
after I retired, that's what I named that boat.
So you guys lived in Fort Myers. What made you decide to come back to Dayton area, Springboro?
Well, we had family who needed help.
Okay.
Our parents are both elderly and had family. Mrs. Hall around town's mom certainly needed some assistance. And we came back to take care of that. We moved to Springboro, and I've landed here, and it's been a great community to live in. It's close to everything. Love the people we've met. Obviously, here at Heather's, it's a wonderful environment.
We love you. So, Hall Around Town Radio, did it start when you came back to Springboro?
It started in Florida.
Okay.
It started in Florida. We had a podcast at the marina, a fishing podcast, where I would interview the captains about where they were catching fish, how they were catching fish. Just talking about their trips out with the people they'd met and all that. And also the marina that I worked in had a winter concert series. Winter is summer season, like for us there. And concert season went on, and I got to interview some great people like Glenn Leonard from the Temptations, the Beach Boy guys, the touring band for the Beach Boys, the film festival in Fort Myers Beach, which brought people like from soap operas and movies. And I met the guy from Blue Lagoon that was in it with Brooke Shields.
Christopher Atkins.
Yes, Christopher Atkins.
Yeah, I did watch it.
And
well, my sister made me watch it.
Great stuff. It was.
So your week, I'm sitting there thinking, I spent a lot of time doing a little bit of research on you. I did a background check. I did a DMV driving report. I did a credit report, a criminal report, and I got nothing.
You got nothing? You should have then. My alias is working well then.
I wanted to make a story and be like, I know how you and Liz met. You were in prison and she was a guard, but nobody would have bought that.
No.
So your week, I'm guessing, tell me if I'm wrong, Monday you wake up, you're preparing for your show for the week in the past and the current week.
Right.
Getting ready for your trivia on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right.
Do your show on Monday.
Right.
Tuesday, prepare for your show Tuesday night. And then you head right up the street here to go visit our good friends, Marcy and Rick and Mr. Burrows for trivia night.
Correct.
You then go home, Wednesday, the same thing, right here on the patio with Heather and her amazing patio, I might say.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And then comes Thursday. You head on over to Montgomery, the Hard Montgomery, Miss Karras, and the Bell and the Bear. That is a badass venue.
You've been there.
I have. You told me about that. Heather and I came. We've been there a couple times, but when we went to Bell and the Bear, I didn't know what to expect as far as the jam session.
Oh,
my God.
Nothing like it.
It is an awesome venue. It is an awesome night. We've been there for a trivia night there also in the wintertime.
Right.
So, really good time. So you're busy there on Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday, you're out at local venues. You're with the other watching bands play.
Yeah, I'm seeing music or working a music show or doing something like that or emceeing an event. That's what I like to do and try to stay busy with that stuff. Sometimes, though, you have to take a little break and slow down. Like, last week we came here on Friday night. You and Heather joined us, and we just sat and chilled out a little bit, watched some great music from the interns.
Dave Taylor.
And, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I got to give a shout out to Karras and company down there at the Bell. Like you said, though, they're wonderful people. And you talk about an incredible family. I mean, Heather's got a great family here. Her staff is wonderful. But you step into the Bell and the Bear, it's like home. Everybody there loves music and they love each other. I mean, that's
what it's all about.
There's no egos, man. It's just so cool about the musicians. There are people that are top-notch musicians. The Eagles Project guys,
sure,
earning big money to play music. And, they're in there and they're doing their thing. And they're playing along the jam session with somebody who may have only played a year.
Yep.
It's really a cool vibe, and I love that place, and that's why we're there on Thursdays with the jam. And I try to help her with a lot of other things if we can.
You guys definitely stay busy, and obviously, you always have Liz right there by your side. I mean, she's busy with you. She's out and about
when she's not at home saying I'm staying home tonight.
I mean, there are nights on the patio here when it's 100 degrees. Like today, it's like 327 degrees.
Yeah.
But there are nights when it's 100 degrees outside, and she's here with her fan, trivia, grading stuff. In the wintertime, she's bundled up doing the same thing. So she's always around also. And you two together, it's perfect.
She helps a lot. The group that comes with her on the Wednesday nights, certainly they help grade. We couldn't do it without them, actually. Because it would, we've got that time limit of curfew on sound, and we have to get it in. And
right.
There's nights I get it in at 9:30 and a half. It's like 9:30 and 30 seconds we're done, and that's what it takes to make this crazy thing we call Name That Tune happen.
Well, now that our neighbor down the street's no longer living here, we don't have we don't have an issue with the noise.
That's true. We don't have anybody calling, Karen.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you my question. I had the one question I wanted to ask you.
Uh-oh, is this the question?
This is, I'm asking, it's my question. Yeah, I'd say it's the question. I'm the host, so.
You are the host.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. You have 1 hour to have a conversation with one person, past or present. Who would it be with and why?
I want to interview Prince. I do.
Like it.
I would love, he was such a very intriguing and eccentric character. And I mean, I've done interviews with a lot of people, and I was told that about like Don Dokken from Dokken in the 80s. I was told, oh, he's going to be a horrible interview for. I had a blast with that guy. John Waite, the same way. When I did that, they said
that was great.
You're gonna struggle with him because he's not always a talker. The guy talked my ear off. I mean, I couldn't get the show done. We would have gone 2 hours. So I want to interview Prince, Jerry, and I'd love to talk to him. And I'd love to pick his brain on that mindset of how he was so creative, because that guy was a creative genius.
Are you saying that because he's my favorite of all time?
No, because you were up dancing to Purple Rain the other night and hooping it up here. And
I had a lot of bourbon in me the other night, so I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember.
Thank you, Cricket, for that comment about the bell. I know that's about the bell. Thank you for that. And guys, if you're out there, make a comment. Let us know you're with us today. Jerry would love it.
Absolutely.
Yes. Because our live viewership is in the tank today, but it'll pick up.
We do 1,000.
Yeah, right. Maybe like
check the YouTube channel. It's probably 1,000 there.
I think Glenn will tell us how many's on the YouTube channel. Go ahead. Anything else you got?
I mean, I kind of wanted to do it quick because I didn't know how much time we had. You said 30 minutes, and I'm at 24 right now.
Yeah.
But I do want to say before I forget, I've done a lot of really cool things in my life. Some not so cool. But this is definitely going to be on the list of the cool stuff. I mean, I consider you a really good friend. Again, I've only known you for a little bit over 2 years, but to have this opportunity to sit down and interview you, first time I've ever done this, but it's something I just wanted to do to, let the people out there who don't know that much about you before get to know you a little bit better.
Well, I think you and Heather are a magical couple. I think you guys exude the attitude of this place. And when you're here and I see it busy and slammed and you're working your tail off carrying kegs
with no time card, by the way.
Those things with no time card.
I don't get paid shit.
And Heather in there working in the barn and doing her thing.
She is.
It's an amazing place. And Jerry, I can't thank you enough for wanting to do this, because it's really neat. And I've never really been interviewed in this capacity. I've been interviewed about being a fireman. I've been interviewed about things like that, but never in this capacity as to why my life went the way it went. And I can tell you, there's days it's frustrating. Days working in this environment, the music community and all that can frustrate you. But there's also days where it's extremely rewarding. And when I go see musicians that play, and I mean, last Friday, you talk about diversity. I'm down at Hunter Pizzeria seeing these guys playing old Merle Haggard and things like that.
That's good stuff.
Music. It's great stuff, and they're fantastic. Butch Jones and the Standard Country Time Band. I'll give him a plug. But and then I walk in here to Dave Taylor, and here's a 27-year-old kid playing Hendrix and The Who and all that stuff. So that's the stuff that's so rewarding to me and about this thing that we do called All Around Town Radio. And I look forward to the interviews. I look forward to doing what you're doing with me today, because those are things that, and I like to do what we did today. You had a few notes, but we're just talking. And I think that's probably the coolest thing about all this, and learning about people and what makes them tick, you know?
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all here for the same reason. I mean, we want to love one another, support one another, venues supporting other venues, bands supporting other bands, because we're all here for the same reason.
There should be a shout out, man.
A shout out.
Says awesome job with the interview, Jerry.
Hey, thank you. Is that my sister?
Gary. No, it's Gary, our own Gene Simmons.
I thought it was my sister. She's supposed to be on here.
Your sister? I haven't seen
many
comments.
I appreciate that.
But we're looking for comments, so make some comments, people.
Anybody.
We've got about 5 minutes left. So
Bailey, you might make a comment about our interview.
If you have a question, throw it at us. And I will say, Jerry, let me turn the table. Can I turn the table for just a second? This wasn't supposed to be my interview.
Wow, you throw me off. Yeah,
no,
go ahead.
But I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
All right. First and foremost, what's your favorite genre of music?
I'm more classic rock.
All right. Classic rock. I'll take it. I had that in one of my 5 of my trivia questions last night was, how well do you know your trivia host? And I had a multiple choice. Do I like 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s? What do you think?
80s.
80s all the way. 80s, you got it. You nailed it.
Yeah, 80s all the time.
See, you would have got a point.
I mean, I even saw Richard Marx in concert.
Oh, Jamie's asking a question. Let me throw that up here. What's the one band you'd like to hear that you haven't heard yet? Live, I would like to hear the Rolling Stones. I've never seen the Stones live.
That'd be good.
That would be one that I'd like to go hear for sure.
Oh, I do have another question for you.
Okay, lay it on me.
What is the first album you ever purchased?
How about the first album I ever received as a gift?
Was it a gift or sealed?
No, I got it. My aunt gave it to me, and my mom was angry at her.
What was it?
She gave me the Rolling Stones Goat's Head Soup.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. The one with Angie on it. Remember the song Angie?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And, you know, I don't think my mom was she was into the Statler Brothers and that kind of thing. So she wasn't really into rock and roll, but it was a great gift.
Do you still have that?
I do not. All my record albums, when I went to Florida, I couldn't move them. First of all, Florida's too hot for vinyl.
Sure.
Where we were going to store our stuff. And secondly, I gave them to a DJ friend of mine. I donated them all to him. Jamie Kress, DJ JC. He kind of came up in the ranks when we had a teen nightclub. And he did that. We didn't even touch on that stuff today.
I didn't know much about that.
Yeah, I had a few venues in my day.
Nice.
But it was the teen nightclub was fun. And Marcy posted something yesterday or today about me working on 104.4. Well, it was really 103.9, which eventually became the Rebel down in Middletown. But 103.9 was in Beaver Creek at the time, and it was WDJX radio.
You were a DJ?
Yeah, just for a short period of time. And they fired us all on a Friday and changed formats. It was like bubblegum pop music, and then they kept the chief engineer and fired all the DJs.
So how old were you when you worked there?
18.
Wow,
yeah,
out of high school.
Yeah, and that's when I was working at a place called the Bus Stop, where I met my lovely bride, Liz.
That's another question I wanted to ask you. Where you two met at?
Yep. Roller World Bus Stop. She was a floor guard. I was a DJ.
Okay.
It was a match made in heaven.
It still is. It still is.
It was.
Oh.
So Marcy said, oops. It's okay, Marcy.
Hello, Miss Marcy.
I didn't want anybody thinking I worked on TUE because that's my good buddy John Bolio's place. He's been there for 35 years on WTUE. But
you do have an incredible radio voice, by the way.
Kara wants to know what your first album was.
Mine?
Yeah.
My first album was, here we go, Kenny Rogers, The Gambler. Yep.
Got to know when to hold them.
Yeah. Coward of the County.
Wow. How about that?
It was.
Thanks, Marcy. I didn't mean you have to go edit it. I just didn't want anybody thinking that's where I worked.
Well, my dad bought that album for me. It wasn't like my choice. My choice is Michael Jackson. Thriller.
Buzzed here. They're buzzing the tower, Jerry.
That was a Michael Jackson Thriller album. But
let's invite people here tonight. Can I do that?
Absolutely.
It's trivia nights. Name that tune trivia. Don't think of it as trivia.
No.
It's really because trivia I do at Mr. Burroughs is totally different. It's question answer. You answer the questions, write them down. This is you name the song and artist when I play a song clip. Now, I usually try to avoid playing the song title. Occasionally I get caught doing that, and the crowd gets a little fun. But that's what we're doing tonight. And Heather just said you still sing those songs, by the way.
Thanks, Heather.
And I've got Glenn asking, Jerry, who are you going to interview next? Great show, by the way.
I'm thinking Scott needs I'm passing the torch on to Scott now. I had my one moment in the spotlight here, but I think it'd be a good idea for him to interview, owners of venues, musicians also, get to know their history besides them playing in bands, where they grew up, where they came from, stuff like that. So I think this could be, something maybe once a month behind the mic with Scott. And I don't know.
How many people out there in the audience believe that I should have Jerry co-host with me one day when I do Who's Playing Out like Karis does sometimes? I think that'd be fun.
I can't compete with her, though. I mean,
no, you can't compete. First of all, she's much better looking than you.
That's
and I got to say that out loud. I mean, but, So maybe we can do that. And Kara's given Heather's customers are fun, like to party like it's 1999. And Julie says, love that idea. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for being here, Jerry. And thanks for doing this and making it easy on me today, actually.
So are you closing this out or mine? Because I'm the host still.
I think you're close. It's your show.
Okay. I thought you were going to steal my thunder for a minute there.
I'm not stealing anything, man. I'm gonna just let you talk.
Don't let the aviators fool you.
Go for it, man.
I do want to thank everybody for joining in today. It's very much appreciated. And your support, I get on there as much on all around town as much as I possibly can. When I'm not working, it's kind of a tough time for me, but you guys are what makes this show. And people that show up on the patio, the 300 plus for trivia night on Wednesday nights at Heather's. You guys are amazing. You guys who go to the Bell and the Bear, go up to Mr. Burroughs, any venue. You guys, you make it happen. And the musicians, I mean, you guys rock. I've really gotten to this stuff for the last couple of years. I've been with Heather, and it's been a great ride and meeting new people and my good friend Scott and everybody else. It's beyond appreciated what everyone out there does. And with that being said, our show has come to an end. So tune in tomorrow at 5:00 with your host, Scott Hall, on Thursday's edition of Who's Playing Out, brought to you by Froggies in Monroe. On behalf of Scott, I'm Jerry. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night and make tomorrow better than today.